Hi guys. Ngayon ang pag-uusapan natin itong tatlong abogado, no. Inexplain nila yung tungkol dito sa desisyon ng Korte Suprema, no, about dun sa impeachment ni VP Sara. Panoorin na natin, guys.
Santa Maria, Attorney Santa Maria. Good evening to you and thank you so much for your time.
Good evening, Pinky, at sa lahat ng ating tagapanood.
Ilang MR na po ang inihain sa Korte Suprema laban sa pagbabasura ng VP Sara impeachment. Really, what do you think are the chances na magbabago o mababaliktad itong unanimous ruling ng SC?
Para sa akin, opinion ko lang, siguro kung liligan natin ng percentage, siguro mga 60, 70, 30 winning side. Sapagkat ang aking base dito yung decision mismo at saka yung motion for reconsideration ng Office of the Solicitor General. Ibang klase yung ginawa nilang motion for reconsideration. Almost ang argument nila ay factual. Itong fact na to mali, ito mali, ito mali, ito mali. Kaya kung titignan mo yung version ng motion for reconsideration, talagang mag-iiba ang istorya. Isang fact. Sabi ng desisyon, tinransmit yung articles of impeachment even without a plenary vote. Ang lumalabas sa House of Representative record, meron pala. At saka yung natukoy na source ng desisyon, ABS-CBN, na hindi
Nagpaliwanag.
naman iyon ang sinasabi.
Opo.
Unang fact. Ang pangalawa, yung sequence chronological order. Kung titingnan ng House of Representative report, nauna pala yung one-third articles of impeachment vote kesa i-archive yung tatlong complaint. So, ayun. So, isa yon. At yung pangatlo, yung priority rule. Sino ang mauuna? Sabi ng Korte Suprema, dapat mauna yung mga complaint kesa dun sa one-third. Pero yun nga, yung kanina sabi ko, yung chronological order, iba eh. At saka isa, ang sabi ng Constitution kasi, ang magbabalangkas lang ng alituntunin ng impeachment ay ang Congress. Di ba alituntunin yung priority rule na ginawa nila? So very factual yung kanilang mga argumento. Kung yun nga ang totoo, reverse ang decision na yan dapat.
Kaya sabi niyo, Dean, it's 70-30, 70 mababaliktad, to be clear.
Sa tingin ko, kung titingnan lang natin yung records of this case.
Okay, meron
Tutulin ko muna, guys, ano. So ito si Dean, former Dean ng Law School ng FEU. So ang side niya, mababaliktad yung ruling ng Supreme Court. Ang mga point niya is kasi sinabi ng Supreme Court walang plenary vote, pero sabi niya meron. And then yung source ng Supreme Court kumuha daw doon sa ABS-CBN information. And then yung chronological order, nauna daw yung one-third voting. And then sinabi niya rin na dun sa priority rule, ang magbabalangkas daw nun is yung Congress. So yun yung mga points niya, no? Tuloy natin, guys.
pong isang lumabas din na insight ng isa sa framers ng 1987 Constitution, si dating Associate Justice Adolfo Ascuna. Ang sabi niya po dito, there was no violation of that particular provision. Ito pong one impeachment complaint per year. Sabi po niya, we confused once a year with one a year. Ito po ay isang interview sa Inquirer. At dadagdagan ko na rin po for context, sabi niya, the rule is not against the number of impeachment proceedings, but against the frequency of impeachment proceedings. Paano ho niyo ito maipapaliwanag sa amin?
Tignan natin yung mismong artikulo o probisyon ng ating konstitusyon. Ang sabi ganito, no impeachment proceedings shall be initiated against the same official more than once within a period of 1 year. Isali natin sa wika natin. Walang impeachment proceeding ang isasagawa laban sa parehong opisyal ng mas marami sa isang beses sa loob ng isang taon. So ano ang antecedents nung mas marami sa isang taon? Yung proceeding, hindi yung complaint. Kahit na ilang daming complaint ang ginawa mo, basta't isa lang ang proceeding mo sa isang taon.
Putulin ko muna guys, So, yung side nila din is one proceeding per year lang dun sa impeachment, Hindi raw yung complaint. Yung kahit ilang complaints, okay lang daw yun. Ang binibilang daw is yung proceeding, Mamaya makikita natin kung paano i-explain nung dalawa pang abogado na pabor doon sa desisyon ng Korte Suprema, Tuloy natin, guys.
February 5, 2025.
Yung pang-apat.
Doon lahat nangyari iyan.
Opo, yung sinasabi nyo, yung pang-apat, yun po yung sinasabi nyo proceeding, yung fourth impeachment complaint.
O yung proceeding, iyon yung lahat nung araw nung February 2025. Isang session, isang proceeding, kahit ilang ilamp mo doon, isa lang yun. Kaya inang sinasabi ni Ascuna, hindi one complaint. Once, within a period of 1 year. At ang antecedents nung once is proceeding. Diba? So, kung titignan mo, anong tinutukoy nung once? Ang tinutukoy nung once, hindi yung complaint, kundi yung proceeding. Kaya kung magkakaroon ka ng isang proceeding, ilamp mo na lahat dyan ng mga complaint sa isang session na yon noong February 5, tumupod ka sa konstitusyon. Iyon ang sabi ni Ascuna.
Doon po papasok yung proceeding dahil basically sa pagkaintindi ko sa inyong explanation or paliwanag, dahil everything was taken up, supposed to be the first 3 impeachment complaints on Feb 5 that was supposed to be archived. The House claims after the 4th impeachment complaint was signed by more than 1/3 and therefore transmitted to the Senate and constituted the articles of impeachment. Lahat nung nangyaring nung araw na yon, ang sinasabi nyo, ay yun po yung proceeding.
Because it's the frequency of proceeding, not the number of complaint. At iyan rin ang sinabi sa Gutierrez versus House of Representatives na surprisingly enough, niligay rin ng Duterte versus House of Representatives sa loob ng kanilang desisyon na iyon daw ang diwa ng rule na iyon. It's not the frequency of the complaint, but it's the number of proceeding. It's a question of time, not a question of the number of complaint. Kaya kung titignan mo yon, lahat nangyari ng isang araw, isang proceeding lang yon, and therefore once within a period of a year.
So sinasabi niya guys, yung nangyari nung February 2025, yung fourth complaint, 'di ba? Doon nagkaroon ng session yung Congress. So yun na yung proceeding. So isa lang yung nangyari. Kaya wala daw violation, So mamaya makikita natin kung paano ipaliwanag nitong dalawang abogado pa na susunod, Puntaan na natin guys itong abogada. Babae ito guys.
Explain lang yung naging desisyon ng Supreme Court. Ano ba yung sinasabing one-bar rule at paano nag-arrive na naging basis na tawaging unconstitutional yung final impeachment?
Let's be very clear. The decision of the Supreme Court did not acquit the Vice President from any of the other articles of impeachment. The ones that they decided on is only when was the impeachment complaint filed. And that was very crucial because they say the one-bar rule for the past years, no, and decades, what we understood is that ang one-bar rule happens to be a calendar year. So for example, gifile siya in 2024, after 2024, fresh na by 2025. That's what the understanding of everyone is. But the Supreme Court said, hindi. One-bar rule starts when the very first impeachment complaint was filed.
Okay.
Okay, so when was it filed? December of 2024. And then there were 3 complaints filed on that same month. And the 4th complaint was filed on February 5, 2025. That is just a matter of 2 months or 3 months. Now, the Supreme Court said, bakit hindi nyo to inaksyonan ang tatlo? First 3. Bakit dumiretso kayo sa 4th? And that is why we went back to the case of Estrada, where they said, when is it really ang impeachment complaint will say nga may action na talaga? Kailan ba yun talaga?
Ayun guys, yung sinasabi ni Ma'am, yung mag-uumpisa yung filing or yung initiation pag inaction na. So tama rin yung sinasabi nila Justice Ascuna na yung filing plus yung action or yung referral, mag-uumpisa na yung impeachment, yung counting doon sa 1-year bar rule. Tuloy natin guys.
And previous jurisprudence said when you refer that complaint to the
Ayun,
department, to the Committee on Justice, did the Congress do that? No.
Ayun. Ayun pala yung yung violation Kasi merong 3 na nauna. So sabi nila nung mga hindi pabor doon sa desisyon ng Supreme Court, wala namang action yan Not counted yung 3 na yan. Pero ang sinasabi ngayon ni Ma'am at tinatanong ng Korte Suprema, anong nangyari doon sa 3? Bakit kayo hindi umaksyon? Yun ang tanong Tuloy natin guys.
They did not. But the Supreme Court said there is grave abuse of discretion by the Secretary General by holding on.
Grave abuse of discretion dahil parang pinigilan nila yung 3 na una.
To the 3 previous impeachment complaint by not referring it to the Committee on Justice. So illegal na yung ginawa ng Secretary General. So on the 4th complaint, they still consider the first 3 as valid because they did not dismiss it. Congress said nga, we dismissed it because we even archived it. No, there was no action to dismiss.
Ayun guys. Dapat inaksyonan nila yung 3. I-dismiss nila para hindi siya ma-counted doon sa 1-year ban rule. Dapat inaksyonan nila yun Pero ang sinasabi ngayon ni Ma'am, hindi raw inaksyonan Parang lumalabas, valid pa rin siya. Tuloy natin guys.
So that is why the 4th complaint was considered the 4th, not the 1st. Because Congress will always say the 4th was the 1st. But Supreme Court said otherwise.
Ayun. Sinasabi ng Congress na yung 4th complaint, yun yung una. Mangyayari yun kung dinismiss nyo yung 3 na nauna. Di ba? So, kaso ang nangyari nga, hindi nila dinismiss yung 3. Pinabayaan lang nila Tapos ngayon, dumating yung pang-4, yun yung in-endorse nila. So anong nangyari dun sa 3? Dapat dinismiss. Tuloy natin.
Oh, problema din ito is that the Supreme Court gave due process to the House of Representatives
Yun.
by asking them questions. There were 9. 9 valid questions. Sino nag-file? These were not answered by the House of Representatives.
Yun guys, ito yung binigyan ang House of Congress ng 10 days para sagutin yung mga tanong nila, no? Pero sabi ni Ma'am, hindi raw sinagot ng maayos ng HOR. At binanggit din to ni Senator Marcoleta doon sa kanyang privilege speech during debate. Sabi ni Sen Marcoleta, sumagot daw tong mga HOR ng balagbag. Binalagbag yung Supreme Court. Tuloy natin guys.
Because they said, amin na to. Wala na kayo, you're not part of it. So what did the Supreme Court do? They had to go to publications, newsletters of ABS-CBN, mga news clippings, and then publication, because these are considered as valid sources, no? Mga news sources. So that's where they got it, because the House of Representatives did not answer them.
Ayun guys, kaya pala kumuha ng informasyon yung Supreme Court doon sa ABS-CBN, tsaka doon sa mga publications, tsaka sa website, dahil hindi sila sumagot doon sa mga tanong ng Supreme Court. Mamaya makikita nyo kung paano i-explain nung pangatlong abogado na ipapakita natin, ano?
Perfectly. So when the results came out, the Supreme Court decided in favor of the petitioner
Yun.
that the fourth complaint, impeachment complaint, was unconstitutional because it violated the one-year bar rule. So, kanus aday magsugod ang one-year bar rule the moment the first impeachment complaint was filed. So, December,
Wala pa.
imong gikuwag 4th, February pa, wala pa. So the next, one of them say that the last impeachment complaint was February 5. The next valid impeachment complaint that may be filed will be February 6 of 2026.
Ayun guys. Ngayon, sinabi kanina ni Dean, yung Dean ng FEU, former Dean, na yung pagbabalangkas ng impeachment, no? Yung absolute power or yung pinakang mandato ay sa Congress. Tama yun Sila talaga yung binigyan ng mandate ng Constitution na sila yung mag-i-initiate, yung HOR ang mag-i-initiate ng impeachment, and then yung Senate, sila yung magko-conduct ng trial, tsaka yung conviction or acquittal. Ngayon, pakinggan natin yung paliwanag ni Ma'am tungkol doon, ano? Kasi sinasabi nila na kaming mga Congress, amin tong impeachment Labas kayo rito. Parang ganun yung dating, ano? Labas daw yung Supreme Court. Ngayon, pakinggan natin yung explanation ni Ma'am.
One of the critiques and one of the
Tinanong
mentioned
siya
in the House regarding this impeachment and the decision, in the ruling of the Supreme Court was that the hands-off, they basically said na hands-off our case, this is not within your power. So they basically questioned the Supreme Court if meron ba talaga silang power to decide on impeachment cases.
Yes,
Can you enlighten us?
very nice question. Because the Constitution is very, very clear that impeachment complaints the exclusive power of impeachment happens or must emanate from the House of Representatives.
Correct.
When it comes to the hearing of the impeachment, it is vested in the House of Senate. So that's very, very clear. So sabi ng HOR or House of Representatives, amin to, wala kayong kinalaman nito, Supreme Court. But that is where they are wrong. Because the Supreme Court also is empowered constitutionally to conduct judicial review. And part of judicial review is to stop any branch, any instrumentality in the government which commits grave abuse of discretion. So if any of the branches, if any department in government will commit this, the Supreme Court can enter and say, this is the power of judicial review, we will stop you. And this is what happened now.
Ayun guys. Totoo yun na ang legislative ang binigyan ng power tungkol sa impeachment. Pero merong mandate ang Supreme Court constitutionally na i-stop nila kapag may nakita silang abuse dun sa power, no, na binigay sa kanila. So tama yung sinasabi ni Ma'am eh. 'Di ba? Guys, pakinggan naman natin itong isang abogado pa na inexplain niya rin itong tungkol dito sa desisyon ng Supreme Court.
Yan.
Ayan, oh.
So ngayon punta na po tayo dun sa nakalagay sa either sa thumbnail or sa description
to,
ko
guys.
yung mali daw yung facts ni
Si Atty.
Justice
Abayon.
Leonen. Okay? Pero anyway
Subscribe
po,
kayo
before
sa
I will
kanya.
start explaining this, sa dami na po ng inexplain ko kanina, may kita naman po or nakita naman po nyo siguro na pwede talaga ma-argue na unconstitutional talaga yung fourth impeachment complaint. Diba? Because there were, unang-una, there were clear violations of the internal rules of the House of Representatives mismo. Tapos there were also clear constitutional violations din po. So even if we assume na tama nga yung mga nagsasabi na mali yung facts ni Justice Leonen, pwede talaga siya ma-argue na unconstitutional kasi itong facts na to, hindi na po talaga to related dun sa mga inexplain ko kanina. Pero despite them not being related, constitutional violations pa rin po lahat yun yung inexplain ko. Diba? Pero anyway, tingnan po natin kung ano po talaga yung facts. So ito po yung naging issue kasi dyan eh. Ito yung nangyari noong February 5, 2025. Tapos yung citation na ginamit po dito nila Justice Leonen is itong number 30, Victoria Tulad, Senate formally receives articles, blah blah blah, so on and so forth, available at ABS-CBN. Okay,
ABS-CBN.
number 30. So yung summary po, at 4:47 p.m. of February 5, 2025, House Secretary Velasco transmitted the articles of impeachment to the Senate even without a plenary vote. Ito yung pinaka inaano nila ngayon, yung pinaka pinupukpuk po ng mga pro-impeachment na even without a plenary vote daw. Tapos yung main ano nila ngayon, main contention is nagbase daw si Justice Leonen sa ABS-CBN news lang. Okay? So
Ayun guys, kasi sinasabi ng Supreme Court na walang plenary vote. Pero binase lang daw yung information na yon ni Justice Leonen sa ABS-CBN. Yun yung isa sa mga kinokontest nitong mga nag-file ng MR.
ito yung sa desisyon ni Justice Leonen. Ngayon ipakita ko po sa inyo yung concurring opinion ni Justice Hernando kung saan mas inexplain niya in detail tong mga nangyari dito. Tapos ipapakita ko rin po sa inyo kung ano yung basis doon ni Justice Hernando para kayo na po talaga ang makakonclude kung ano ba talaga yung tama o mali. Okay? Para Duterte, Torreon versus House. Separate concurring opinion, Hernando J. Promulgated July 25, 2025. So makikita po natin yan sa page 3. So sinipe po dito ni Justice Hernando mismo yung actual events. So basahin ko po para mas klaro talaga tayo. During the plenary session on the same date at around 3:37 p.m., Secretary General Velasco read the fourth impeachment complaint and the first three impeachment complaints which were included in the additional reference of business. So at 3:37 p.m., so on and so forth, basically inano lang nila yung actual words po na sinabi ni Rep. Dalipe, the speaker, anong SecGen. Tapos additional reference of business, and then ito binasa yung mga title ngayon nung first three impeachment complaint and the fourth impeachment complaint. Tapos kung makita po ninyo, ang basis dito ni Justice Hernando, see also additional reference of business, House of Representatives, 19 Congress, 3rd Session, February 5, 2025, available at Docs Congress HREP online. In short, he based this po dun sa documents mismo available sa Congress website po. Then Records House, 19 Congress, 3rd Session, February 5, 2025. In short, lahat po ng pinagbasihan ni Justice Hernando ay mga documents at records from the Congress na nakuha niya at yung mga pwede rin po i-download sa website ng Congress. So kung makita po nyo, di ba, number 5 and 6. So ito po yan, number 5. Okay? So anyway, kung gusto nyo po makita step by step to, basahin nyo na lang. This is in page 3 po ng concurring opinion ni Justice Hernando. And then number 4, page 4 na po tayo. So dito po, Rep. Dalipe, Mr. Speaker, today as provided for in our additional reference, so on and so forth. So basically, ito na po yung tungkol sa 4th impeachment complaint. Tapos pinapakita or ina-establish po dito ni Speaker at ni Rep. Dalipe na merong more than 1/3 yung nag-endorse dun sa 4th impeachment complaint. So makita po nyo, may we inquire from the SecGen how many members of the House verify and swore before him the impeachment complaint. And then ganyan-ganyan. And then sabi po ni SecGen, 215 House members. As the majority leader is recognized. Mr. Speaker, may we know what is 1/3? So yan, again, they are trying to establish that they complied with the 1/3 requirement. So sabi po ng SecGen, 1/3 of the total number of members of the House is 102. And the Speaker, the Secretary General has responded, the majority leader is recognized, and then yung nangyari next niyan, Rep. Dalipe, Mr. Speaker, for the record, in consonance with the Constitution on Article 11 on accountability of public officers, particularly Section 3, Paragraph 4, and pursuant to Section 14, Rule 4, Section 14, Rule 4 of the Rules of Procedures in Impeachment Proceedings, so on and so forth, considering that the SecGen has certified at least 215 members had verified and swore, I move that the SecGen be directed to immediately endorse the same to the Senate. There is a motion to direct ganyan-ganyan. The chair hears none. The motion is approved. The Secretary General is so directed. Suspension of session. So kung makita po nyo, natapos na lahat, nagka-suspension of session. Tas na, ito, upon resumption of the plenary session at 3:45 p.m., the House approved the election of 11 of its members as prosecutors. So yan po yung mga nangyari based on the journal po ng House of Representatives mismo. Yung
Ayun guys, sinasabi niya yung findings ni yung isang Justice Hernando. Binase nila yung kanilang assessment doon sa website ng Congress. Kasi nga hindi sumagot Hindi sumagot itong HOR. Kaya nag-base na lang sila doon sa website, tapos doon sa ABS-CBN, kino-contest ngayon ng HOR yon doon sa MR. Ngayon, pinakita ni Attorney Abayon, according doon sa journal ng Congress or ng HOR, yung pagkakasunod-sunod na nagkaroon daw ng 215 voting, tapos nag-motion na si isang congressman na tinatanong kung ilan daw ang kailangan ng 1/3 voting. Sabi daw 102, naka 250 na. So emotion na i-endorse na sa Senate kasi na-comply na yung 1/3, no? Pakinggan natin guys tong explanation ni Attorney Abayon tungkol sa plenary voting kung nagkaroon nga.
Yung next question, was there a plenary vote on the impeachment complaint para i-endorse siya dun sa Senate? Wala po, di ba? Yung pinagawa lang po nila, pina-verify nila na may 215 House members ang nag-verify and swore as to that complaint. Iba po kasi yung plenary voting as to the fact na i-endorse yan at ipadala dun. Wala na pong nangyaring ganun. So dyan po ngayon nagkakaroon ng contention kasi after lang yan, meron daw more than 1/3 nag-endorse, and then from there, in-endorse na may nag-move lang tas pina-endorse, wala nang plenary voting basically nangyari. So again, kayo na po bahala mag-conclude kung ano ba tingin niya dito. Was there a plenary voting or no plenary voting? So as per the Supreme Court, walang plenary voting na nangyari. And again, ito hindi na po to fake news or hearsay because this is from the records of Congress na mismo. Tapos inisa-isa talaga ni Justice Hernando yung mga steps na nangyari. Okay, so kung ako po tatanungin, this is also not a plenary voting if you ask me. Kasi hindi po ganyan pag plenary voting. Ito po, based from my experience sa Congress pag nagbobotohan po kasi kami ng bills, isa-isa po talaga yan, tatanungin, abayon, kung yes or no. Dito kung makita po nyo, wala. Ang ginawa lang, there is a motion to direct the SecGen to immediately endorse to the Senate. The chair hears none. The motion is approved. The Secretary General is so directed. So if you ask me, that is not a plenary voting. A plenary voting po is a voting na isa-isa tatawagin talaga yung members ng Congress. This is from my experience po kung paano kami nag-approve ng mga bills before on third reading. Okay, so hopefully klaro din po yan. It will not change the fact po na there is a potential grave abuse of discretion based on everything that I already explained dun sa mga clear violations po.
Mahaba tong content ni Attorney Abayon, kinuha ko na lang yung huli. Pero dun sa mga naunang explanation, dun sa content na to, in-explain niya yung isa-isa. Yung 1-year bar rule. Marami siyang in-explain Kinuha ko na lang yung last part. Panoorin nyo na lang. Maganda yung mga explanation niya. Detalyado, may reference.
Nangyari talaga dun sa internal rules ng House and then dun sa constitutional provisions. So kung ako nga po tatanungin, yung tingin ko po dito, this is actually not very material itong argument na to. Kasi kahit wala po, kahit tanggalin to, klaro naman na hindi nasunod yung due process provisions, not only of the Constitution, but also of the internal rules of the House of Representatives.
Ayun guys, dito sa in-explain ni attorney, na-violate talaga yung Constitution tsaka yung sarili nilang rules ng HOR. Kasi yung one-third voting, kailangan pala yan, i-refer mo pa din sa Committee on Justice. Parang in-explain na rin to ni Senator Marcoleta na kailangan mo pa rin i-refer. Hindi mo dapat directly i-endorse sa Senate. I-refer mo pa rin sa Justice Committee, which is hindi nila ginawa. So, violation na naman.
Diba, nakalagay doon, they are following the Francisco ruling. Ipakita ko na nga lang po ulit para sigurado talaga tayo. So ito po, pakita ko na lang ulit. The Supreme Court decision, Francisco. So mode of initiation, this is Rule 2, Rules of Procedure Impeachment Proceedings, House of Representatives, 19th Congress. Diba? So a verified complaint or resolution of impeachment filed by at least 1/3 of all members of the House shall be referred to the Committee on Justice. Diba? Shall, referral, Committee on Justice. Ito yan, yung ginawa nila. And then after na sa Committee on Justice na yan, papasok na nga tong due process clause ng internal rules nila, finding probable cause, like what I explained earlier. So kahit nga po hindi in-explain to ng Supreme Court or hindi pinagbasihan ng Supreme Court yung Bill of Rights, yung Article 3 sa 1987 Constitution, nakasulat na po yan mismo sa internal rules ng House na hindi rin po na nasunod, di ba? Kasi upon motion po dun sa plenary, diniretso na nila, refer agad sa Senate yung impeachment complaint that was verified or endorsed by at least 1/3 of all members of the House of Representatives. Okay?
Guys, maraming binayolate ang HOR sa Constitution tsaka sa kanilang rules, ang sarili nilang rules, no? So, panoorin nyo na lang yung buong content ni Attorney Abayon. Kasi ito na yung last part Mahaba ito, Tsaka yung kay Madam, yung abogada, mahaba din yun Yung Dabawe, basta Dabawe nyo, yung kila Mayor Baste na programa, So, sa palagay nyo guys? Magagrant kaya yung MR? Mababaliktad or hindi? Sabi ni Dean, yung Dean ng FAU, former Dean, 70%, 60 to 70%. No, yun yung prediction niya na mababaliktad, Pero nung napanood ko to, tsaka yung mga pronouncement ni Senator Marcoleta plus yung babaeng abogada, mukhang malabo guys. Malabo pa sa sabaw ng pusit na mababaliktad yung ruling. Kayo guys, ano sa palagay nyo? So, tingnan natin kung anong mangyayari. Ganito na lang guys. Thank you. please like and subscribe. Salamat guys. Ingat and God bless. See you on my next content. This is Kuya Linox.